But I would argue that in a sense, whenever you give somebody your last name, she belongs to you. That's yours. I mean, I think that's the whole purpose of giving someone your name back. It's a powerful gesture. Even during slavery, it was important to give the slave the last name of the master. It mean that this you belong to me. I own you. I don't think it's parallel to marriage. The conditions are different, but it's the same thing though. If you can get your mind to think outside of the box and not be so triggered by the word, it is a sense that the woman belongs to you. But women are getting married in a, what do they call it? They're on the fence or whatever. I don't know what the proper term for it, but they don't behave like they're married. They don't behave like they belong to you. You know what I'm saying? It's a condition behind it. I'm with you so long as I get what I want. It's all a transaction. Settling, man. Settling is it's really hard to get a woman to settle these days because of the options again. Now, when we talk about divorce, I think Trev said something about the court systems. We understand that the court system's unfair, but I don't think we know that we could actually do something about it. There are tools you can equip yourself with to go into a marriage and a situation and have have an increased chance of not being railroaded by the court system. And I hate to keep saying it because a lot of people keep discounting it, but it is a premarital agreement. And it can be written up in a way where you can be protected, and it also can be written up in a way where you can screw yourself. We've seen that happen times and time again. But there is protection out there. And then again, I think, Trev, you also mentioned conversations about the space that's going on. A lot of men are being told by people they really look up to and are inspired by to just continue to walk away from marriage, like just do away with it all, like just turn your back on it. And I think the scripture JR quoted was very important to try to embrace. We were built, we were made to be one with a woman, to have a helpmate. He said it. It's not good for men to be alone. So in an essence, you're kind of deviating from the will of God if you're not finding a wife, you're not finding a companion and building a family and extending your bloodline and allowing your seed to continue to make you, in a way, immortal. You live forever. And I would also challenge the statement JR said. A lot of the stuff I agree with, but I'm kind of on the fence, and maybe y'all can help me with this ownership. I know the term ownership sound like slavery or some shit, but I would argue that in a sense, whenever you give somebody your last name, she belongs to you. That's yours. I mean, I think that's the whole purpose of giving someone your name back. It's a powerful gesture. Even during slavery, it was important to give the slave the last name of the master. It mean that this you belong to me. I own you. I don't think it's parallel to marriage. The conditions are different, but it's the same thing though. If you can get your mind to think outside of the box and not be so triggered by the word, it is a sense that the woman belongs to you. But women are getting married in a, what do they call it? They're on the fence or whatever. I don't know what the proper term for it, but they don't behave like they're married. They don't behave like they belong to you. You know what I'm saying? It's a condition behind it. I'm with you so long as I get what I want. It's all a transaction. So I'll let somebody else, go until I, get more into it.
All right. Going to you, Brother Viz. Same question that's on the table. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear fair marriage, and what's your personal experience of you?
Man, Darwin, I don't even know how to follow up behind that, bro. You hit on every aspect that can be touched on. I personally, before I was really introduced to the YouTube world, and even when I saw it, I did see it on Facebook and Instagram, the fear that was there. But before that, honestly, I didn't, that wasn't my experience in person. The majority of the men that I knew or know, they were married, or they was getting married, or they were in, long-term relationships where they pretty much was married. So for me, it was always something that I had a desire to do. Um, I understand the principles behind it. The Bible tells us that a man that finds a wife finds a good thing, and he's in favor of the Lord. So for me, it was one of those deals of where I understood that me having that help me was going to help open whatever additional doors that was ordained for me to receive. But I couldn't get access to that unless I had another person with me, or my person. So that was definitely something that I always wanted to do. Now, I was in a relationship before the woman that I'm with now, where I questioned it and I put it off. And I was one of them niggas that strong a motherfucker alone type shit. I hate to admit to it. But going through the process of really trying to understand if she was the one, I went to the OGs, I went to the men that I knew was married and asked them, like, man, how did you know? How did you know? When did you know? And I would say 7 out of 10 of them answers wasn't answers that really clicked for me. It was, man, oh man, we've been together for so long. Woo, 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 why not? Oh man, I ain't going nowhere, so fuck it. Why not? We got 3 kids together. Why not? You know, in which I get it all, but that wasn't enough for me, because I've always, I've always had the desire to be married. I always knew that I'm only going to do it one time. So this one time got to count. So I think that it's important to be aware of the diet that you take in. With social media, there's so much content on social media from any and everybody. So you're able to receive uh, a diet of someone being bitter, hurt, still going through whatever pain of trying to heal, and you're going to take on that same pain and carry that. Or you can listen to someone that preaches or speaks on how to have a healthy relationship with a person. I think that marriage, especially with me filming weddings, I film weddings. So with me being exposed to it, I've worked with couples where it was like, there is no way in hell, there's no reason why y'all should be getting married right now, because y'all can't even function at the wedding. So I know that this is gonna be hell. But a lot of people do it for those reasons that I gave earlier, or it's just something to do, much rather than this being something that's real. I always tell men, especially, that marriage is a business deal. You got to walk into it like a business deal. Yes, make sure you love this person. Make sure you want to spend the rest of your days with her. But you have to understand that this is a contract. This is a business deal. So it got to make sense. And if you approach it with anything less than that, and even taking advantage of the premarital bylaws that you can set with prenups and whatever the case may be, so be it. If that's what it looked like, then that's what it looked like. But you got to approach it as if it's a business deal. But I'll end now.
All right.
I was gonna add something behind real quick. I also wanted to add that you gotta recognize serpents, the serpents. Like, if you look at Adam and Eve, and even in a perfect setting, that actually was a marriage that failed. Well, I don't wanna say it failed, because I think they continued after that. But
Yeah.
there was a serpent involved that kinda destroyed the union, destroyed the setting, destroyed the position they had under God. So I think whenever you get in any relationship, you gotta recognize your partner's serpents. Like, what are the things that can derail the situation? You got a woman that like to go out at night and hang out with her friends and get dressed and all spiffy and all that other stuff. You gotta recognize her serpents might be alcohol or, other dudes that may look more charming and appear more or having more of a status. How do you remove that serpent? You gotta tell her that, "Look, if you wanna be with me, you wanna rock with me in a long-term relationship, these are the things that you're gonna have to give up." And it's hard for women to do that, and that's why it comes back to compromising and being cooperative. You gotta be able to get away from these things. I'm already a lot of men are like to think, and we like to think ahead. Like, we can see a lot of this shit coming a mile away. A lot of women are thinking in the moment. They wanna enjoy the moment. That's the reason why whenever they have celebrations and birthdays and stuff, they spend money, hundreds and thousands of dollars on things that only last for the weekend. Men, whenever we celebrate birthdays and critical events, we purchase things that's gonna last us for years. You know what I'm saying? We look ahead and we try to get joy and from things that are lasting. So we tend to think ahead, and women think for the moment. So we see a lot of these issues these loopholes and these challenges and obstacles that can come, and we're like, "Hey, look, we need to go ahead and move like this." And it's also dependent upon the man ability to be able to communicate that or articulate that. And a lot of men are failing in that. And that's one of the big reasons why I came into this space, to be able to educate them how to, actually communicate that in a way where she can understand it and see justification in it. Because a lot of women you would be surprised, a lot of women will yield and will bend and learn. I have a wife who done it because I was able to articulate myself and how the decision uh, intersects with the best interest of the relationship for the family. And if a man is able to do that, and this is actually a critical part of being a leader. If a man is able to do that, oftentimes a woman will yield and be like, "Okay, I get it. Okay, I'll do this." But we fail. A lot of us fail in that department, and we just gotta recognize and hold ourselves accountable in that area.